Stalker 2's update 1.5 is the best of all the updates that I've seen so far. I'd like to thank GSC for letting me play the update early. In this video, I'll give you features that I noticed personally in my time playing 1.5. I try to present these features as something anyone playing would actually notice without overanalyzing gameplay mechanics with dev tools or mods that help me fly around the map. I won't comment so much on certain story breaking bugs due to the fact that I never really experienced them, so I don't have a problem with them. I will comment on any new features that I came across and whether it is substantial enough to give the game a try again if you are waiting for updates. The first major new feature is the addition of 2 new weapons. The 3-line rifle, which is basically a Mosin, and the Koro, which is a 1911. The 3-line rifle seems like it'll be more like an early game sniper rifle in terms of its damage, because when I used it in my late game save, it took way too many shots to kill somebody with an exosuit. It took like 5 headshots. It was kind of ridiculous. Maybe they could balance that, especially since the ammo was used, I think, with another like powerful sniper rifle. Maybe they should balance that more, but the 1911 is my favorite new pistol besides the 3-line. The Mosin is always cool and it really fits the zone's aesthetic, but the 1911, oh my gosh, it has its own unique variant that you can find called the Night Stalker. I haven't found it yet, but I'm glad that they're adding in new unique variants of new weapons. This is great, especially it's free. It's not like a DLC or anything. The new edition of the 1911 actually made me want to start a new playthrough just so I could use it. But right now, with the release of Death Stranding 2, I'm putting Stalker on hold. Mutants are now lootable for their parts. After killing a mutant, you will be able to search them, which will play an animation where Skiff will carve his knife into a mutant real quick, and it'll prompt you the mutant part that you collected. It doesn't open up an inventory screen similar to Shadow of Chernobyl, I'm pretty sure. Opened up an inventory screen where you took the mutant part. And this, it'll just tell you that this is the mutant part you collected, and it'll show up in your inventory. You can ask merchants about mutant parts and sell the parts to them. But if you collect enough like bloodsucker tentacles or even I think the pseudo deer horns, you can go to Malachite and the female scientist will actually give you a lot more money than merchants will for specific orders of those specific mutant type parts. Be aware that whether you can loot a mutant or not seems to be randomized, meaning that they won't always have loot every single time you kill them. A-Life received a pretty big update in this patch. Now NPCs encountered will not despawn once they are outside of your radius. At least that's what they're saying. And so far with my testing, that's what it is. There's persistent A-Life in this update. Now you should theoretically be able to meet NPCs again on your travels that you've previously met before. I tested this out and I can confirm that the NPCs that I came across seem to stay in the game when I purposely put like distance between me and them and travel back to them. It feels more natural, but it's not without its jank yet. It's still a little flawed, but overall this is a pretty huge thing once they polish it off a bit more in the next few months. There are huge quality of life features added in, such as expanding the window size of the player's stash in the inventory menu, which has been highly requested since day one. New icons for ammo types that'll help the player spend less time wondering which ammo type is which. And by far the most important quality of life feature is being able to continue where you left off on a reload. Before this update, if you sprint or disrupted the reload animation in some way, it would restart the animation all the way back to the beginning. Now it continues the animation where you left off for persistent reloads, which is huge. A big immersion breaker was cutscenes not being lip-synced when you had the Ukrainian language on. I personally played the game in Ukrainian primarily, and it would always bum me out to see that. With update 1.5, now the only cutscenes that don't have lip sync for Ukrainian are pre-rendered cutscenes. So everything else has lip sync, which is huge to me again. I'm really loving this update if y'all don't notice. Now for one of the most important things releasing with 1.5 is official mod support from GSC. They put together a toolkit that will help modders in a major way when it comes to really getting in-depth mods instead of surface level little rinky-dink mods. I'm not a mod author or somebody who has made mods before, so I don't understand how it works. But GSC has provided notes on the main menu of Stalker 2 and in its patch notes, so go check those out if you are a mod author. Mod authors will also be able to release mods on Steam Workshop, which I think is a huge quality of life feature. I play a lot of Project Zomboid, so I'm pretty familiar with Steam Workshop. And in my opinion, it's really nice, and it makes modding even more accessible to people. Overall, in my opinion, patch 1.5 is the best patch we have had for Stalker 2 so far. If you have been waiting since launch to play the game due to bugs or lack of A-Life, I think now might be the time to jump into it. Although the A-Life may not be fully restored or fleshed out, it is hugely improved upon compared to what we had at launch. Not to mention the fact that there will be more fleshed out mods coming out due to the release of the modding tools coming out on the same day as patch 1.5. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're interested in Stalker 2 content, please consider subscribing. Have a good day.